All right. Wanted to ask about ranking positions. Is it just normal for pages in the top 10 to fluctuate a position up or down? I have a few articles that just jump around positions 6 to 8, some 3 to 4. I check my rankings every third day. So, this was something that bothered me a lot when I first got into SEO too. And I used to also, check my rankings like religiously. I don't think I could wait 3 to 4 days in the very beginning. It was like an everyday thing,
For sure.
especially
Yeah.
when you're not as confident in the process. You just haven't, it hasn't played out enough times for you to really have faith in it quite yet, or you don't really understand what you're doing yourself either. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's super normal for things to fluctuate one position. They can even fluctuate more than one position. They can bounce around a couple positions.
Pages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I was just talking about page one right there. Um, so usually if it's on page one, you really don't really see it bouncing off page one very far, unless it's like rank like 9 or 10 bouncing to like, top of page two, like 11, 12 or something. It can, but as far as like daily fluctuations, it's like very normal for things to move around like right where they are. They very rarely just stay in one spot like all the time. When you say that's about right, Nick?
Yeah. Yeah, typically. Over time, you might notice less volatility as you get to numbers 1 through 3, because then I think, my assumption is that the traffic flow would help show Google that people are interacting with a specific page that they've already deemed in the top 3 positions. So you'll kind of notice less volatility typically. But yeah, it depends on a lot of variables. But yeah, typically that's true. One thing to note is like somebody was talking about this in our group the other day that they will get volatility from putting up. So obviously they have a really high end blog or good quality blog. Um, they'll put up new content and it will automatically go to page one and then fluctuate back to like page 4 or 5, he says. And so he was asking about that volatility. And so, depending on how new the page is or how new the site itself
More
is,
volatile.
you can expect a little bit more
Yeah.
volatility. But overall, yeah, once you get on page one, it's not uncommon for you to kind of move around, jump here to there. It's essentially Google testing um, different
Click-through
uh,
rates,
yeah.
how
Yeah.
much users are enjoying your content, stuff like that. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, and then once you get off of page one, like once you get onto page two or even page like three, then stuff can really move around a lot. Like you can be bouncing from like page three to page five to
Yeah.
page four. Like you're jumping like 10, 20 positions a day, just kind of like going all over the place. Because it just seems like Google just doesn't really, just everything is much looser out there, right? And then like once it gets on the page one, it's like the algorithm gets much more serious about like this one should go here and this one should go there, right? They can still
Yeah.
move around and stuff, but yeah, once the farther back you go, the more it just bounces around like crazy. But yeah, it's super normal for stuff to jump just a couple positions or one position or whatever on page one. Um, even like, if we're checking like our the sites that we work on and stuff, it's just, if you're at like number one and then you a couple days later you checking at number three or whatever, you'd say, oh dang, we lost number one spot, and then you check next week and you're back to number two or number one again. I don't know, just
Or number
or
9.
number.
Yeah.
If
Like
if I
it's
went
like,
from like the
it's
top
all
three to
it's all
nine,
random.
I would kind of sweat it a
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, it depends, right? It all depends on the time frame
Yeah.
because like stuff, it's not up to you, right? It's up to Google and what it's doing. So I think what we should really pay attention to here as far as like advice goes is the latter part of this question, which is checking every third day. I know it's hard, especially at the beginning,
Yeah.
but I literally check my rankings once a month now. Like I'm going in and I'm talking about specific. I'm using Ahrefs all the time to do all kinds of different SEO work, right? And that means, auditing through my own assets and stuff. But let's say SE ranking, once a month, I'm going in there. I'm just seeing what happened overall, because then I can also read the data sets from day to day, and I can say, okay, well, we got some volatility for this position here through this week, but then at least you can keep your mindset more broad about the situation, and be more analytical, versus when you've got a narrow focus, you're more inclined to make mistakes. And this is speaking completely from experience, where early on I made extreme mistakes based on thinking focused, right? On like, checking every third day. You're going to be more inclined to make mistakes by going in, messing with a whole lot of stuff, thinking you did the wrong thing. I did this early on. I'm talking from experience. But basically, now I'm once a month, I'm looking. You can then see everything over time, right? So you can go back to data sets throughout the month where you had extra volatility, etc. But you can be more analytical with your behavior, and kind of, like, move a bit slower, but have more information on what's going on. Versus if you're looking every third day, you're not getting a broad viewpoint. You're really just making yourself more nervous. So I know it's hard up front, but maybe, when you're first working on this, just try and go once a week. But like Chris and I said, we used to check when we first started every day. As
Or if we want to
compulsive.
talk about developing healthy habits, I would say make it like
Yeah,
every 2 weeks.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
You can still get your little fix in there, but yeah, like you said, I think a lot of people they're confused and they think that these short-term fluctuations have something to do with what they're doing to the site, and it
Right.
really doesn't have anything to do. And
No, yeah,
unless you made some
not
kind of
really.
huge change and you saw a big jump or something, maybe you've messed something up, then that could be a thing. But as far as just like the normal daily fluctuations, the one up, one down, two down, whatever, two up, it really has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's
No.
Google shifting stuff around, reprioritizing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you can look at old pages I have for any number of different websites that I'm working on. And, having done nothing over the last couple months to a specific page, there's just normal volatility, right? On page one, it's just moving up and down throughout everything. And so, hypothetical, in that situation, you can send links to try and stabilize things a bit more. And over time, that can help work as well. But yeah, you move kind of slow with it.
Yeah, just remember SEO moves slow. The
Yes.
you know the and it's not just a straight line. It's not just a steady like climbing a ladder. It's up and it's down and then you're jumping around.
Hmm.
So just get it in your mind that SEO moves slow. Daily fluctuations are normal and don't really carry that much weight. Try to check your rankings a lot less and just look at the big picture rather than yeah, the day-to-day ins and outs of what's moving around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.